Featherstone twice this year on Sky Sports, one in victory, one when they came second best. The man that commentated on both those matches will take us through tonight's game. Bill Arthur, what can we expect from the Featherstone Rovers?
As you say, Brian, we've seen them in the Cup, we've seen them at the Summer Bash. John Sharp's side triumphed in the Cup against Halifax, and they didn't perform as they'd hoped against the London Broncos at Blackpool in the Summer Bash. If they are to get anywhere near Leeds, they've got to repeat the sort of performance they showed against Hull Kingston Rovers recently, the runaway leaders at the top of the championship. They held them to a 20-all draw. It's going to take a massive effort from this Featherstone Rovers side, who get first touch of the ball and knock it on. I was going to say, they need to start well. They didn't start well against London at Blackpool and paid the price. They've got to start well here, Phil.
Well, it's gone through the arms of Josh Hardcastle. A tragic start for them here. They were immediately under pressure. I felt a degree of sympathy for him. I felt as though that ball continued to go backwards. But the referee blew his whistle and Leeds get the first chance to attack. You're right. Cup games, sudden death events in any sport really offer an excitement, and Leeds are making sure that they kill off any excitement that the away supporters have right now.
Well, here's Sir Callum Watkins, and this could be a costly start to the game for Featherstone Rovers. Leeds looking to profit from that early error. Here is Keith Galloway. Already has a cup try under his belt with that try he scored in the big win against Barrow. Leeds having beaten Barrow and Doncaster already in the cup competition from the league below Featherstone Rovers. So this, in theory, a tougher challenge. Featherstone need to make it that. Well, they're trying to withstand the Leeds pressure at the moment as Ward plays the ball. Here's Maguire, short pass from Maguire, finds Ablett, and Ablett is held by Luke Cooper with the tackle. Jason Walton in there as well. It was Michael Knowles. And Maguire kicks cross field, and it's well claimed. And they've done well there. Oh, the ball has been spilled. Chris Kendall is the referee tonight. Corey Aston comes up with the ball, and sighs of relief, I think, for Featherstone there.
Well, if you have to defend your line, perhaps it's best you do that when you're full of energy. The Featherstone side have started the game defending on that line for 6 players, and on the very last one, Corey Aston takes possession. A difficult kick, attempts to offload to one of his teammates in goal. They've lost the ball, and they've attempted a short contested restart.
Oh, and it almost came up for them. It still might. Michael Knowles has got the ball. It was Kyron Johnson who went for it. It ricocheted.
The referee's blown his whistle and said a knock-on. He's going to bring play back here. Does it his first point of contact? Is it off a Featherstone play? He's hoping to check with somebody.
What did you think? My initial thoughts were this had gone backwards.
It's a big call.
Well, it typifies the attitude that Featherstone need to have in this game. They can't do the usual, it needs to be the unusual. And I did feel as though a degree of sympathy there for Featherstone, but he's adjudged that the ball's gone forward first of Kyron Johnson, and then forward again from a Leeds play before Michael Knowles is tackled in possession. A second scrum and a second opportunity here for Leeds to show us the class they've got.
But that was a bit of sharp thinking from Featherstone Rovers that very nearly paid off. That ball seemed to be plucked from Kyron Johnson's hands by Callum Watkins. As it is, Leeds have head and field. They have another opportunity. Here is Ryan Hall. Joel Moon. Singleton. He's tackled about 5 metres short. Ian Hardman slows his progress as he gets up to play the ball. Here's Ablett now. Desperate defence in the early stages here from Featherstone Rovers in front of their own supporters at that end of the ground. The short ball comes back to Parcell. Parcell then comes back in field and over the line. And first points of the game go to the Leeds Rhinos, and Stevie Ward it is, who eventually finds a way through the Featherstone Rovers defence. 2 knock-ons in the opening minutes by Featherstone, and they were bound to pay a heavy price, and it's Stevie Ward who opens the scoring.
Well, the Rovers attempted here to gain possession back from the first goal line got rid of the game. And And eventually the referee says, no, that's a knock-on from Featherstone. They've been unlucky with one or two decisions. A run around with Matt Parcell took the ball wide before Ward's invited back into the middle. Almost goes behind Ferris, but he's too powerful for any of the Featherstone defenders in the middle of the field here, and shows that they've been able to, with sheer strength, score down the centre of the field. Disappointing level for Richard Moore and his teammates. They were unable to prevent one of Leeds' best back rowers and best players in this competition.
Stevie Ward making his 99th Leeds appearance with the try, which Liam Sutcliffe, bang in front of the posts, will look to convert. Leeds on course early on here. Featherstone Rovers must be kicking themselves. Didn't deal with the very first touch of the game, and they were bound to pay a price.
Well, they're going to be stretched out wide, Bill. See Leeds looking like they're going to hit their edges. But when they come back inside and hit Stevie Ward, Richie Moore gets a really good look at Ward coming through. And for a play of his size and experience, be disappointed to be beaten right down the middle. John Sharp will have a word with his players. Look, if they're going to beat us, make sure it's out wide. Do not let them come right down our soft centre and score a try under the post like that.
Leeds coach Brian McDermott knows there's a long way to go in this game, but his side have opened the scoring with Stevie Ward. There he is.
Move, Richard! Wait.
Now has tries in his last 7 appearances. That's 5 tries in his last 7 appearances for Ward, so that's a good run of form for him.
Well, it perhaps show the class maybe between these two teams and the competition and the players in them. Stevie Ward just too good for the players in the red and blue shirts. As Leeds now roll forward here. All the best giant killing in sport usually occurs when the underdog gets off to a good start. That's not happening right now.
Here's Singleton, and Leeds making good yardage. Featherstone struggling to contain them. Then Maguire hoists a kick. Parcell chasing, claimed by Ian Hardman. Very experienced fullback.
Well, the Rovers have had to do 5 minutes of hard defence, and they need to roll forward as best they can. Josh Hardcastle, the man who dropped the kick-off to start the game, has had his first carry and successfully played the ball.
Here is Missy Talapapa now, very dangerous player in terms of try-scoring abilities, the Samoan international.
He might need to break records as well tonight, Bill, for work. Kyron Johnson, Missy Talapapa are going to have to help out a forward pack that will be tested and will be tired. You want work from your outside backs. Share that workload. Give yourselves a chance of laying a platform.
Moore gets the pass away to Hardman, and Hardman, Parcell gets a hold of him.
Well, that's a brilliant set of possession.
Briggs now.
It with the kick. Oh, they go straight towards Liam Sutcliffe. But you saw the intention of Featherstone there to keep the ball alive. They've offloaded, they've supported the man with possession, and they've made some good progress.
Here's Tom Briscoe in good form after a bit of a blip in form. Tom Briscoe in recent weeks got 2 tries against Wakefield last time out. He's Handley now.
You're right, all 5 of the outside backs that Leeds had outstanding games at Wakefield, had lots of ground, and I think it'd be something they'll be hoping they can do again tonight and for the rest of this cup competition.
Leeds, of course, missing 1 or 2 players tonight, as Ferris has a bit of a disagreement with Hardcastle after the ball is played. Here is Ferris now. Joel Moon, Maguire, Ablett, making his 300th career appearance, Carl Ablett, in this cup tie. Place in the semi-final at stake as Maguire, with time, puts a kick into the corner. Hardman, infuriating to see that ball bobbling at his feet, not doing what he wanted it to do. Kyron Johnson now. None of the dual reg players have been available to Leeds this season for Featherstone Rovers, able to play in this one. Just Corey Aston, who is on a season-long loan, free to play, season-long loan from Leeds, I should say, but the dual reg players like Jordan Baldwinson, Jack Ormond-Royd, not available for this one, so Featherstone having to make use of their own resources. His tag now.
Stand, go, 5.
Kick comes in from Corey Aston, a name that's associated with Challenge Cup glory. Aston, his father, Mark, of course, part of the Sheffield Eagles side that caused probably the last great cup upset in 1998, the great cup upset when they beat the Wigan side at Wembley in the final.
And a man who will have Leeds Rhinos eyes on him, Bill. His performance will be monitored. They'll want to see how he manages this side. It might turn out to be a long night for Featherstone, and if it is, they'll like to see how Corey Aston reacts to that.
Watkins has lost that ball. He's knocked it on, says referee Chris Kendall. And the Featherstone Rovers players salute their defensive effort.
Well, a great relief and a reward for how hard you've pointed out they've worked in defence. They've had a tough opening to this game. Leeds have been brilliant, haven't they? Where they've played the game, the control of it, and the speed and tempo. But the first mistake, though, gives Featherstone a chance to catch the breath and start possession for the first time in this match inside their opponent's half.
Carl Briggs with a bit of a cut under the eye by the look of things, just around the eye. No Anthony Thackeray in the Featherstone Rovers side for this game, which a bit of a surprise given the way he can influence this team. But they've got Aston, they've got Briggs, who's been in good form.
I think Briggs' performance against Bradford, Bill, has swayed him. Swayed John Sharp to pick him in this game. He came on, I think, after about 20-something minutes in the Bradford game. They were trailing at half-time, and he, I think, with a try and 3 goals, was inspirational in Featherstone's win. It's an exciting combination for John Sharp, and he's obviously got confidence in the pair.
Oh, that ball just stuck. Now here's Luke Cooper, and Featherstone Rovers moving deeper into Leeds territory for the first time in this game. Here is Richard Moore. Moore, short ball to Brad Tagg. That's the 5th tackle. Wildy. Now here is Aston. Aston hoists a little kick, and Handley is underneath that one. And well dealt with.
Sometimes the margin between success and failure in this sport isn't that great. The kick needed to be better than that to apply some pressure. Didn't even have a chance to contest the ball. They couldn't turn the tourniquet on the Rhinos there and really squeeze and tease them.
So here is Briscoe now for the Leeds Rhinos. Now Ferris. And they're there in numbers to greet Brett Ferris. And Ferris didn't like the reception committee, just a bit of a lash out at John Davis, and perhaps thinking that Brett Ferris might have a short fuse. That's scrappy, but Maguire salvaging the situation for Leeds until he's brought down by John Davis. Always a willing worker. Singleton now runs at Corey Aston, but is then stopped by Hardcastle. Moon, well, Joel Moon wasn't exactly sure which way he was going to go then, so hoists a big kick, chases it himself. Hardman collects and is then bundled over his try line.
Well, that's absolutely outstanding from Leeds here. Teams talk about having a good first 10 minutes. It's been almost faultless. There was one mistake from Callum Watkins. Other than that, the accuracy of the kicks, the enthusiasm of the chase here, and the quality of the tackling technique has gifted them here again. Another possession. He tries to get off the floor, but they wait patiently till his feet hit terra firma and then drag him back in goal.
You see what Hardman was trying to do, Phil. He was trying to catch the ball safely and then get to the ground. He knew what was coming. The Leeds Rhinos had the presence of mind to hold him up and push him backwards. Smart play.
Ian Hardman just coming to the end of his testimonial year. Here come Leeds again with Maguire. Handley now.
Nice play, isn't it, when a team attack immediately from the dropout.
Here is Keith Galloway. 2 tackles gone. Now 15 metres or so out. Brett Ferris now straight towards those posts. And Featherstone back on their own try line. Once more under pressure. Here is Maguire. Picks up pace. Gets the pass away, but that's good defensive work from Jason Walton. Go down the short side. Ablett, Watkins trying to find a way through. Featherstone fans thought they'd got him into touch. He just managed just to stay in the field of play. Maguire makes room for the kick. It's a good one. Oh, Davies has lost it, and he's dotted down, and I think it's Ferris who's got the touch. Chris Kendall wants another opinion on this. Ben Thaler will look and see whether Brett Ferris has reacted to that loose ball. John Davis was underneath it, it got away from him, and then I think that Ferris got a hand to it in time.
Well, they tried their best to put pressure. It was Richard Moore pressurising Danny Maguire. Looked like everybody's in front. End over end kick, and you would say player of the ability of John Davis would catch that 9 times out of 10. One eye on Brett Ferris, and you would say that's 4 points.
Try awarded, and Featherstone Rovers, their own worst enemies already in this game. Knocked on at the start, they paid the price for that. Knocked on there, they paid the price again.
But some of the quality of the defence on the 5 plays before that was outstanding. They do well, don't they, to prevent Callum Watt from scoring. There's a question about whether his foot actually had touched the sideline. None of the officials felt he had, and the kick goes over. John Davis appears to have too much time. He's waiting for the ball, looks to one side, takes his eye off the ball, and it goes straight between his arms. 2 kicks, 2 mistakes, and they've led to 2 tries. We're almost at a point a minute, and Leeds look in total control.
And Sutcliffe with another formality to extend the Rhinos' lead, which he does. Liam Sutcliffe, who kicked 10 goals against Barrow earlier on in the Cup this season, on target again.
And Richard Moore does everything right. Danny Maguire, well, it's on any other day, it's a poor quick kick really from Danny Maguire. That's easily caught by John Davis. But to credit Ferris and his willingness to chase, never give up on the ball, and he gets his reward. For Featherstone, it's, I mean, they're 12-0 down on the scoreboard, Bill, but as you said, they're architects of their own downfall. They can't deal with a kick-off in the match. They can't deal with a relatively easy kick there. They fix little things like that up, and they might get themselves back into this game.
They've got to get a hold of the ball for a decent stint of time as well. Ryan Hall was the player who grabbed that kickoff like a slip fielder. John Sharp looking pretty cheesed off, you'd have to say, because he knew it was going to be tough, but they've made life tough for themselves.
I think Leeds are playing well up until the point of the 2 kicks. Featherstone can't complain. The defence has been outstanding, and it's the petrol tank that John Sharp will be most concerned about.
Here's Galloway, hard to put to ground. Now Matt Parcell. Maguire almost found a way through, does find a way through. Ferris trying to put the step on, gets the pass off to Moon. Moon will dummy his way over, and Moon is over, and has got that ball down. And the try awarded. Moon got there, and Maguire and Ferris opening the way for Joel Moon to get his 5th Challenge Cup try of this 2017 campaign, again under the sticks, and Leeds already all smiles.
Well, frantic screams from the Featherstone players for a knock-on for Joel Moon. And this is Brett Ferris, a good tackle by Ian Hardman. But Ferris does get the ball back. You don't want him to go into that man's hands. He's very difficult to stop. And the Featherstone players were claiming there was a knock-on there, probably enough to suggest that Moon had control of the ball. Matt Parcell, speed out of dummy half. Maguire coming back across the grain to find Brett Ferris has carved open Featherstone. As I said, it's Joel Moon, difficult man to stop, great evasive, brilliant when he runs the ball. He's able to dot down. With a closer look here,
Not a suspicion of a double movement.
well, it's a knock-on, I think. Knock-on, I think they'll have the most complained about. Dragged
Seems
over
to
the
lose
line.
the ball forward, doesn't he? It does appear that way. Had they gone to the video referee, I think that would have been chalked off. Instead, we're looking at 18 points to 0.
Featherstone Rovers not getting a great deal of the rubber, the green in that situation. Liam Sutcliffe on target again, and Leeds already 18-0 up against John Sharp and his Featherstone Rovers team. Here you go again.
It's a brave attempt here by Ian Hardman in the tackle. In fact, it's Matty Wilde, sorry, to prevent the ball being grounded, and his attention around that does seem to dislodge it. but it's irrelevant now. The try's been awarded. Featherstone need to pick themselves up. Leeds' attacking style is a bit unique in rugby league. You know, it's very much improvisational. It works for them. Their instinct to support the man with the ball was superb there, and they're backing their own skills here tonight. Good weather, great surface to play on. They're moving the ball around and keeping it alive whenever they think it's possible.
The pitch really does look immaculate here at Headingley Carnegie, not getting any heavy traffic on it this time of the year. And Leeds making good use of it. Here's Ward, who opened the scoring in this cup tie. Salford already through. Looks like Leeds are going to be joining them, unless Featherstone Rovers can turn the tide, and it is a tide that is really washing over them at the moment, just roaring forward, the Rhinos. Maguire puts the kick in. He was outside the 40, says referee Kendall, and Hardman runs it back towards the Rhinos' ranks.
Well, the outcome of every kick has been excellent from a Leeds perspective, hasn't it? It's stayed on and around the try line. The chasers have gone up there. 2 or 3 of the players have gone before Featherstone have got players back on side and recovered, although here's a good strong run there by Jason Walton.
Walton, Knowles, there's lots of experience in this Featherstone Rovers side. Those 2 players, Walton and Knowles, are a pair of the side who've experienced Super League. Aston, hoping to impress against his parent club, gets the penalty.
Well, this is a big relief. You know, in the game of rugby league, both teams at the end of the match usually end up with a 50-50 share of possession. But tonight we've clearly seen in the opening quarter here, most of the possession has been with the home side, and this gives an opportunity now for Featherstone to redress that imbalance.
Leeds already had, going into this game, 25 tries and 136 points in their cup campaign, and that was from just 2 games. No offence to Doncaster and Barrow, the sides they'd beaten. At the moment, as this game stands, they're going to be adding significantly to their points tally in the cup. But here's Aston. Oh, and that was a great opportunity. The ball from Cooper just went behind Corey Aston.
It was creative play by Aston, wasn't it? Patiently waiting for Cooper to get into the hole.
Keith Galloway knocked that on.
That's what Aston says, doesn't he? He passes the ball back to him, keeps it alive. And it's immediately off that, and that should be 6 more tackles. They've had some bad luck with.
Let's have a look here.
You need to calm down.
Certainly comes off Galloway's hand.
We've had a try, a dubious one. We've had another set of possession there which could have offered Featherstone a chance to attack.
Out!
So Leeds fortunate maybe in that interpretation. Here's Tom Briscoe. He'll be hoping to get on the score sheet here tonight, and then Featherstone Rovers are penalised. That's a high tackle just to rub salt into their wounds.
Well, it was a good and enthusiastic run by Liam Sutcliffe, playing at full-back tonight, aiming to make ground and take his team up to the other end of the field.
Well, look, you can have no complaints there. John Davies has been told by the referee, we heard it through the referee's mic, I told you to kick off, get your hands away from his face. Very next tackle he's involved in, he's got his hands around the face of the Leeds player. And Featherstone Rovers fans will look at that and be disappointed. They're into the referee, you've blown another penalty against us. But he can do no more than warn the player.
And from that penalty, Leeds come forward again. Garbutt playing the ball now. Here's Maguire. Ooh. Very nearly a knock-on from Sutcliffe over on that far side of the field. Here is Ablett now. Singleton, Maguire, Joel Moon. Now then, Ryan Hall. And Hall in the centres for the first time in his 289 games for the Leeds Rhinos. There was some question mark as to where he would play, and Hanley is out there as well, but he and Hanley are obviously alternating. Hanley at the moment on that left wing, ball inside him. And here they come now on that flank. Here is Hall, and Hall trying to use his considerable strength to get his way over the line. That's the sixth tackle. That'll be the turnover. He couldn't find a way through there.
Well, I think that's pretty impressive defence by the Rovers. You know, Leeds do like to run the ball on the last play. They're not always predetermined to kick it, high or low. They passed the ball there, and the Featherstone defence has done a remarkable job to stop Ryan Hall and cause scoring. But just look here now, Leeds' determination to play as well without the ball as they have played with it is very noticeable here, with players charging forward and throwing lots of shoulders into lots of tackles.
Oh, brilliant run.
Walton across the field. Knowles. Now here's Kyron Johnson, and Johnson, he's got pace. Lanky winger Kyron Johnson. There is no Scott Turner for Featherstone Rovers. He's out injured. Daryl Griffin wants a Leeds player on the field now from the bench as Briggs puts a kick in down the sidelines, and Sutcliffe will run it back. Next Thursday, it's back to Super League after this Challenge Cup weekend. We'll see the Widnes Vikings take on Leeds Centurions. Big game from the bottom of the Betfred Super League table, 7 o'clock Thursday, Sky Sports 3. And we are back at Headingley Carnegie next Friday. What a game this should be. Leeds Rhinos against the leaders, the Castleford Tigers. That ball's gone to ground, 7:30, Sky Sports 3 for that. Leeds after a bit of revenge after their hammering by Castleford earlier in the season. Leeds coming up with the error.
Well, it was an attempted pass and a poor one from Ryan Hall, trying to find his wing teammate Tom Briscoe, who's charged in from the other side of the field, aiming for a hole in the defensive line, but the pass has gone behind him, and that's the first disappointment, I would say, really, from a Leeds performance.
Phil, I know a Featherstone player you've got a great deal of time for, Jason Walton, and don't overlook his run out of defence there. At an unenviable position, Bill, just trying to bring the ball off their own line. Jason Walton revved up, you thought he was going to take it in for just a drive. He was able to find some space, and Featherstone broke up the field. Ultimately, that leads to them in this good attacking position.
There is Walton playing the ball on the 40-metre line in the Leeds half. Now James Lockwood, another one of the experienced campaigners coming off the bench. Daryl Griffin had a season with the Rhinos in 2012. Parcell is down. He's got a knock as Griffin went through there. Oh, the hooker's got a bash on the eye there.
He's cut him, hasn't he? Maybe the arm or elbow as he's attempted to tackle big Daryl Griffin. He's spun through the tackle. At some point, maybe the teammate.
It's his own. It's
Mitch Garbutt.
Well, he's dropped him.
Thanks, Mitch.
Get done for a punch.
That's a mess. Well, Matt Parcell.
Goodness, he's cut him right open, hasn't he?
He's missed only one game out of 20 since he came to the club. Whether he's going to get patched up for this.
Well, he's been arguably one of Leeds' best performers this season. I'd say him or Adam Cuthbertson, who's standout players. Cuthbertson yet to come on the field here. We may see him as Parcell leaves it.
It looks like he's cut him above and below the eye. There'll be a bit of work to do there for the medical staff. Brian McDermott, no doubt, will have that information fed back to him. Leeds Rhinos, a bit of defending to do. Featherstone will be hoping they can get something out of this, Phil. A score, preferably. Maybe a repeat set, at the very least.
Featherstone, a rare visit to Leeds territory, and they're losing territory as Kyle Briggs is driven back by the tackle from Carl Ablett. Here's Lockwood now. Gets past the first defender, but he too is turned and sent back by the tackle from Garbutt. Little kick comes in, but not read by any of his teammates, by Matty Wildy.
That was very ambitious, wasn't it, to think that he could kick it through for himself where the opposition fullback's most likely to be stood and get there before him.
And their whole attack was stacked up on the left-hand side of the field. All of Featherstone expecting a kick to the left, and Aston's played off his own playbook. Not a great option.
So now Featherstone will try and make Leeds work hard to get out of their own half, and they're not doing a bad job. Mullally has come off the bench for Leeds with that cut to Parcell. That's the fifth tackle. But Maguire, will he go for a 40-20? He does well to get the kick away because he was under good kick pressure there. Now here's Hardman. Comes back in field, looking to link up with Kyron Johnson, but can't do that. And Leeds make the tackle. But Featherstone will be pleased with that, restricting Leeds in their advance and then returning the kick. The drummer on the south stand finds his sticks. Hardcastle plays the ball. Aston. Here is Frankie Mariano, and Mariano, good run from him. He had Hardman on his shoulder, couldn't get the pass away. 4 tackles gone. Aston, little step from him. Corey Aston gets the pass away to Davis. Davis! Mariano couldn't take the pass. It was Lockwood, I beg your pardon. Lockwood, he was down by his toes.
Well,
and so near.
So near the try of the game so far as the young halfback on loan here for the season to Featherstone splits the defenders, finds Davis, but the pass is 6 inches too low here. Gets between Anthony Mullally on the inside of Stevie Ward, flicks it up for Davis.
He's got to have got close to scoring if he held on to it, Phil. I mean, he's...
Davis.
Yeah. He's trying to throw the miracle pass. He holds on to that. He's got a chance of reaching out and touching the try line.
Well, Corey Aston working the opening.
Big warning for Leeds, though. Dip of the shoulder, and Aston ghosted through relatively easily.
Let off for Leeds.
We've seen here now, Parcel off the field. Adam Cuthbertson's the new hooker, with the biggest hooker perhaps in Leeds history, but he's now the guy going to dictate how and where Leeds attack from behind the ruck.
If only Featherstone fans will be thinking, if only that pass had been up round James Lockwood's knees, he'd have stood a chance, but he's a tall guy, he had to stoop there to pick it up off his shins, couldn't get a hold of it. Now then, here comes Hall. Leeds with Hanley, Moon, Ferris, here is Cuthbertson now. Cuthbertson is upended, that's the 5th tackle. Maguire in place to put the kick in. Does so towards Kyron Johnson's wing. Briscoe is coming for it. It was a shove on a Featherstone player there, but Johnson was rock solid underneath that. Hardman.
Well, this is the test here now. High kick, well taken by Johnson over on that left side. But for part-time players here now, to push on after the 25th minute mark is the test here. Can they go head for head as Joel Griffin now rolling forward here? They're doing very well in this contest. The scoreboard doesn't tell you that.
They've got a lift, haven't they, Phil, from Mariano, Griffin, these players that have come on the field.
Hanley has to retreat to get that kick and then runs it back. Good chase from the Featherstone Rovers side to close him down. And Featherstone making Leeds work. They'll be wondering what might have been had they not gifted them those 3 tries, because that basically is what has happened. Every one of them down to ultimately a Featherstone Rovers error. Here is Hall. Hall hounded by Aston. Aston manages to stand to get the pass away to Stevie Ward. Ward coming across the field. Griffin gets a hold of him. Down. Cuthbertson. Here is Garbutt now. Garbutt offload from him to Cuthbertson. Mullally stands, gets the pass away to Maguire. Maguire finds Hall. Hall has the ball stolen from him by Corey Aston.
Brilliant play, wasn't it? He knows he hasn't got the size to match Ryan Hall, but he's certainly got the sharpness of mind, and he's taken the possession back. This is a pretty good period of play here for Featherstone. They've not scored any points, but they really are taking it to their opponents.
Aston showing up well against his parent club in the last few minutes.
Coming up with a Gavin clinch, specialised in that one-on-one steal.
Keil Carlisle plays the ball. Can Featherstone Rovers profit from this purple patch they're having? Here is Walton. Walton clinging on to that ball. Can't cling on enough. It spills and a promising situation comes to an end.
Well, it's understandable that he's looking to offload and keep the ball alive. The referee says no, he's lost it forward, and then a second knock on from Leeds. That's why a scrum will be formed. Jason Walton is a threat on that left flank for the Featherstone side.
Jason Walton, once of Salford, was going to join the Bradford Bulls in 2016. That move fell through. Bradford fell through. So he was, like so many players at that time, a free agent, and Featherstone Rovers snapped him up. Rovers working hard at the moment. Lockwood Davis involved in the tackle there. And again, Hanley it was. Here is Cuthbertson, finds Garbutt.
They're compressed in defence here, Featherstone. They've just got to be careful that Leeds don't try and shift it out wide. Leeds' shape not brilliant at the moment, though.
Here is Ferris. Now they do go for some width. Watkins is on the shoulder of Sutcliffe. Oh, Sutcliffe was trying to adjust the ball to get the pass away, but it's spilled and Hardman picks it up. Featherstone Rovers counter.
A great defence that time by Featherstone. In fact, now look, they want a counter-attack. Jason Walton, man Brian's picked out here. He's attempting to do everything he can here. The tackle back there on Sutcliffe forces the ball free and...
Briggs in anguish.
The simplest of errors from the kick-off, from the kicking goal, and now from a dummy half play the ball there. As Karen Johnson gets back, he hits his arm just above Sutcliffe, and Hardman's off and back upfield.
Back down, guys.
Ash Golding injured, just tweaked a hamstring in the victory over Wakefield, the hard-won victory over Wakefield last time out for Leeds. So Golding kept out of this game, and Sutcliffe, who has played at fullback on a couple of occasions already this season. In the last 7, he's been at fullback twice, otherwise been at centre. So Leeds with Mullally. Their scoring rate at least has been halted by Featherstone Rovers over a point a minute. It was early on in the game, but are they going to strike again here with Watkins? Always threatening Callum Watkins. He got 4 tries against Featherstone Rovers when these two sides met in the qualifiers last August after that nightmare season for Leeds in 2016. 2017 looking a lot more promising. Joint second in the Super League table and heading for the Challenge Cup semi-finals. Ball back inside, lovely handling. Hall and Handley back for Moon. Moon just almost strolling across the field. Briscoe puts a kick in, and Walton has to deal with it, hoping it would find the dead ball line, but it was not strong enough.
Well, they're an outstanding side, Leeds, when it comes to the last tackle, keeping the ball alive. They've gone all over to the left-hand side of the field. They've put a kick in that's teased Jason Walton. It wouldn't roll over the dead ball line, and he knew, as the kick goes through from Tom Briscoe, he knew he had to cover and cater for this ball. Sutcliffe just behind him. Another goal line dropout.
Huge set for Featherstone now. We've got nearly 20 minutes in this game with no score, and that's all credit to Featherstone Rovers. They're playing against a side ranked 3rd now in Super League. And this is a big play so far by John Sharp and his side to not allow Leeds tag on any points to the 18 already scored. Big set, try and keep them out, gaining confidence.
Garbutt comes forward with the ball from that goal line dropout. Here is Anthony Mullally now. Having a good season. He's only missed 2 games in this 2017 campaign. Has Mullally. Here's Ward. 10 metres out. Featherstone trying to keep the Rhinos at bay once again. Ferris now. Ferris takes him on himself. 4 tackles gone. The big guys lined up. But it's with Moon now. Sutcliffe stepping, trying to come back in field again. Good defence to deny him. And then the penalty is conceded.
It's tough, isn't it? On the last tackle. Tough penalty here now, and another opportunity. Another 6 players. Can they survive for 6 more?
Right in front of those Featherstone Rovers supporters, not impressed by that decision. Can their side hold out? Maguire gets the ball over the line. Keil Carlisle was clinging onto his shirt. Referee Chris Kendall.
No try.
No try is his call.
Double movement, please.
Double movement.
Well, that's what all the Featherstone supporters behind that try line, they were immediately gesticulating to the referee to indicate there's no try here. Maguire's tackle short of the line, his possession and momentum have been completed. He lifts up the ball, and then his arm with the ball carrying arm has hit the ground. Is that a second effort to lift and propel it forward?
No try there, Phil, yeah.
Well, the referee says no try, and I think the video referee could not disagree with that.
Ben Thaler, video ref, has a very quick look at that. And Danny Maguire is denied another Leeds try. Super League's record try scorer almost gets a cup try, but double movements.
What a relief. There'd be few more relief than Ian Hardman. Tackle 5, penalty conceded. His side under extreme pressure, and Danny Maguire looked like he was going to cross for the first score. And as I said, nearly 20 minutes. But they've caught a lucky break, and it's not been undeserved.
Back on me, guys, back on me.
When you consider the possession and where Leeds have had it, I think the scoreline's remarkable. Even the best sides in Super League would do well to be within 18 points of Leeds. The Rhinos have had so many opportunities close to Featherstone's try line that you'd expect them to score 1 or 2. The Rovers, can they hang on and get to the other end without conceding again?
Featherstone really had only one opportunity, and it was Lockwood there playing the ball who came close. Just couldn't take the pass at the final stride from the line, really.
Okay.
Here they are again. Here is Aston once again.
Move, Joel. Hold. Go for.
Featherstone with Keele Carlisle. It was his tackle on Maguire there that proved so crucial. Just clinging on to Maguire's shirt. That's the 5th tackle.
Go 5.
Briggs is in position to put the kick in, left-footed. Hoist that one. Briscoe is underneath it. Talapapa has hit him and hit him too soon. And the penalty is conceded. Walton on the chase, and Featherstone concede the penalty.
Well, 10 out of 10 for effort, but 9 out of 10 for intelligence. He set off, didn't he, with full speed behind that kick, with all the right intentions. But he made a real mess of it, hasn't he, and conceded a penalty. Just like one of the kicks that went into the in-goal area. They've been close, but not close enough here to be competitive.
Well, Matt Parcells still off the field after taking that left hook. He's back on, I beg your pardon. Wonder what state he's in. Ange.
Yeah, he is back on, straight into the tackle, and there at dummy half passing the ball. He went into the medical room. He's had a couple of stitches in that cut, no bandages on, and he was really itching, Bill, to get back on the pitch and get back into the fray. Safe to play, you can see.
Tell you what, Bill, his cheek is swollen up as well. We've got a glimpse of it. He's got a golf ball appearing underneath his right eye.
Well, he's been quite a signing as Matt Parcells. And he's not the biggest of guys, but he packs a punch.
Such an important position. Seguiaro, I mean, he rescued their season last year. Matt Parcells, such an important signing, you're right.
Play on, says referee Kendall, and that ball is stolen. And Featherstone do well there, they get it back. Mariano it was who pulled it from the grasp of Ferries, who then tries to return the compliment to Missy Talapapa.
They've done brilliantly well, haven't they? They've been the best team in the second quarter of this match, the last 20 minutes.
Get that right. Go first.
Although now they're starting to huddle around the middle. Hardcastle, a player who I think has tremendous potential. Do you remember, this guy less than 12 months ago was playing at an amateur levels. Now he's playing against the Leeds Rhinos on the famous Headingley turf.
Well, here's Walton now.
5.
That's the 5th tackle. Walton plays the ball. Needs to be a good kick, and Knowles it was who puts the kick in and then holds his scrum cap in horror as he sees that one just go straight out of play. Huddersfield 12, St Helens 6. That's the Betfred Super League game. Rearranged for tonight. Those two playing catch-up, and Huddersfield really have found their form up into the top 8.
Haven't they just? What a few weeks they've had. Warrington, Catalan, and possibly tonight St Helens going down at the hands of Huddersfield.
Early days in that game. Way to go. Here is Moon. Languid start from Moon. More direct style from this man, Ryan Hall. Parcells, Cuthbertson. They've got such a talented array of players. Here's another of them, Watkins to Briscoe. Briscoe surrounded by those Featherstone Rovers players who stop his progress. Here's Moon now. Ferris, Moon does the run around Maguire. Maguire finds Hall. Hall for Hanley, and Hanley in the corner. And eventually Featherstone Rovers cannot hold out. Anash Hadley gets his name on the score sheet in this Challenge Cup quarter-final, but magnificent build-up work from the Rhinos.
Well, the supporters in the south stand start to beat the drum, and the rhythm develops here, doesn't it, nicely. They move the ball across. It's wonderful passing. Nice catches there in front of the man, and they've made that look relatively easy. To transfer the ball from one side of the field with defenders around them, they've held them up, created the overlap, and a classic rugby league try that the Leeds faithful have fully enjoyed just before we get to half-time. Simple run around, it's held in the defenders, and then nice pass there out to Hall, playing centre for a change, lays it on a plate for Handler.
Ryan Hall so used to being on the end of things on that left-hand side. There he is, serving it up to Ash Handley.
It's hard not to go back to Michael Knowles' decision to kick out of dummy half. I think it was out of dummy half. And Featherstone's last attacking set, Bill, and he's a talented player. He'll give his everything in this game. Whether or not he's the right man to be kicking on the last play, I'm not sure. Just unnecessary. And it's maybe been the story of this half. They'll pinpoint a few areas, Featherstone. I'm sure this is something that John Sharp might say to them. Tidy up those few areas, and we have a chance of giving Leeds a bit of a rattle. 24 minutes they went without conceding.
Sutcliffe, whose previous conversions, 3 of them, have been from virtually bang in front of the posts. He's facing a tougher challenge now. The wind, a bit of a problem. Looking to curl it in, can't quite do that. Falls short and wide, but Leeds Rhinos on course for the semi-finals. And that's the last kick of the first 40 minutes as the hooter sounds. After a period of resistance from Featherstone Rovers, Leeds find their way over again to extend their lead. And Featherstone, having conceded 3 early tries in the opening stages of the game, gave Leeds a run for their money, came close to breaking their duck, and then conceded right on the hooter. They've got a mountain to climb in the second half.
If that is what is in store for these Leeds Rhinos fans, players and their coach. Just seconds away from kick-off now. Bill Arthur, back to you.
Thank you, Brian. And Chris Kendall ready to get the second half underway. Featherstone's last victory over Leeds came in a First Division fixture back in March 1994. They really have got to start this second half like men inspired if they are going to overturn the deficit here. 22-0 Leeds seemingly on their way to the Challenge Cup semi-finals. Remember, Salford already there after their victory over Wakefield. That's a knock-on. That's exactly how Featherstone envisaged this second half starting. Leeds make the error. Stevie Ward.
Well, he had an impressive first half, but his first touch in the second isn't that good. He's lost the ball and it's rolled backwards. The referee says that's an incorrect play of the ball. Dropped it, although the rules do state you can drop or place the ball and roll it backwards. This gives Featherstone a dream start, doesn't it? Almost a reverse of what we saw just over 40 minutes ago. It was Featherstone then who made that early error. And Leeds punished them. The Rovers got it in them here now to strike back.
Play on, out. He's out.
Ball in the middle of the field.
One. Movement, Brett.
Featherstone Rovers then, right at the start of the second half, with a golden opportunity perhaps to put a bit of pressure on this Leeds defence. They haven't had too many opportunities to do that. Here's Davis. And then obstruction, says referee Kendall, in that Featherstone Rovers move.
Well, nearly every team used decoy runners, people to run through, but as the Featherstone players have done it, they've taken out a defender, and that's a clear obstruction. That big Darryl Griffin.
Darryl, you've hit him, and then you've got hold of him.
He's impeded one of the Leeds defenders, and that opportunity to strike back, score first in the second half, has completely gone away from them.
Darryl, you're off.
So Leeds.
Told you you're offside, Darryl.
And they get back-to-back penalties. Featherstone Rovers offside.
That is disastrous, isn't it? They've not even been able to get back in line with the referee. Concentration's not really here.
Release him, Keogh. Wait, go, that's one.
Carbot plays the ball. Here's Maguire, brings it back infield, and Sutcliffe trying to find a way through. Featherstone Rovers managed to stop his progress, but Parcell, quick play the ball, and Garbett looking for an offload after his route to the line was shut. Parcell, that right eye puffed up. Short ball from him, Cuthbertson. Good defence from Featherstone. He can't get that ball down.
Brilliant, isn't it? Brilliant from Featherstone. They've stopped tries that other Super League sides may have struggled with. They've held up Cuthbertson. He goes back now 10 metres. And they're perfectly split left and right, options both sides.
Leeds' only ever present of the season, Adam Cuthbertson. So Leeds go wide now with Sutcliffe. Griffin makes the tackle.
Hold, go.
Watkins. Here's Maguire. Little kick comes stabbed in from him. Davis gathers and gets out of trouble. Good work from Featherstone. Play on, says the referee. So Kyron Johnson takes the pass. Makes a few more yards. He gets the ball away. Great work. Here's Missy Talapapa.
What amazing play there to gain 30 metres. They were inside their own in goal area. They've got up towards the halfway line now in a brilliant two plays there. Amazing by John Davis. You know how close he went in the first half going over that line. This time he dived over it, but in the opposite direction. And it's prevented another goal line dropout.
Here's Lockwood now.
Hold! Move! Is that two?
3 tackles gone.
Hold, go.
Keele Carlisle. And now it's with Josh Hardcastle. The man with no number. The Featherstone Rovers centre emerging for the second half without a number on his shirt. Here's Frankie Mariano, and the Mariano loses the ball. And it's picked up by Garbett. And Leeds will counter now. Hall in a wrestling match with the Featherstone Rovers players. Let's get some half-time news from Angela Powers.
Thanks, Bill. Well, Brian McDermott, the coach of Leeds Rhinos, says a short and positive half-time assessment really from him. Keep the defensive effort up, he said, and if any criticism really, it's to be in possession, support each other a little bit better. Well, from John Sharp with Featherstone, more of a list of things he wants to see them improve on. Too many errors, he says, 40% completion, which compares with something like 80% completion with Leeds. They're losing the energy battle. They're having to defend a lot, and that's draining that energy, so he wants to see them working hard there. Their ends of sets are not good enough. They're not putting Leeds under enough pressure. He wants to see that element improve too.
Darryl, what did you say?
Good job they didn't have any longer at half-time, as the list would have been even more extensive from the Featherstone Rovers coach.
Out time back on.
John Sharp looking for a big improvement then from his side.
Well, some of the players looking for an explanation of how that was a scrum and how it was head and feet to the Leeds side.
Sorry, if it was either a strip and a penalty, ball coming out of Ryan Hall's hands, Corey Aston emerged with the ball.
Move! Hold! Go to.
I wonder how the referees deliberated that that's a scrum. Anyway, Leeds Rhinos on the attack.
Maguire. There you go, that's...
Aston's locked onto the ball, and then Ryan Hall lets go, but I thought the referee's right call would have been saying Hall let go of it.
Well, Leeds in the meantime are in a good position here. Here is Singleton now. Singleton, Griffin manages to stop his progress. Parcell, a wave of the hand towards Cuthbertson, then misses out Cuthbertson. Maguire puts the kick in. Briscoe challenges for it, and it's Walton who comes up with it for Featherstone Rovers. So again, good work on their own line by Featherstone.
Well, it's like a man-of-the-match performance for the Featherstone side on his own, Jason Walton. It's been difficult to play against Callum Watkins. It's not an easy role having that task, but he's handled him well in defence, and he's made sure that his side have regained possession there.
Hold, go first.
26 years of age now, Jason Walton. Once an England Academy international back in the day. That's the 5th tackle. Davis, and then a booming kick downfield.
It's a nothing kick again, Bill, on the 5th.
And it's being returned with compliments by Liam Sutcliffe. Very quick to bring that ball back. And Leeds will counter with Callum Watkins.
They're doing so many things right, Featherstone, but the important parts at the end of sets, have been quite a distance off, I'm sure, the standards they'd set for themselves.
Skillful play there from Adam Cuthbertson, teasing the defenders, although a low tackler's come in, a late one to complete that. And the Rhinos are objecting. James Lockwood.
A little tasty out there.
It's gone low. It's one of those tackles that has in the past at times caused injury for the man holding possession, but tackling him around the leg area, I don't see a penalty at all in that.
Back there, guys. Back there. Darryl, over there. Over there, Ian, over there.
Lockwood went down, Ablett objected, and touch judges on.
Okay, mate.
So we'll put it on report and give a penalty against Featherstone, but I disagree.
In my opinion, it's dangerous. It's Hardman, and he's going to go to the bin. No, not Hardman. Yeah, I've got him in. Go on, take it.
Lockwood very nearly sending the wrong player to the sin bin.
Lockwood. No, it's a dangerous contact. Dangerous contact.
Dangerous contact, he tells the Featherstone Rovers captain Ian Hardman. James Lockwood, the culprit, sin binned.
You know, if the Leeds players hadn't made an issue of it, would he have penalised it in sin bin? That's the question I've got around that.
I don't have a problem with that being penalised. That tackle has got to...
Where then is he allowed to tackle him, Brian? He gets too...
I understand what they're trying to do now, Phil, is when a player is held, they're trying to make sure that his legs aren't, you know, a legitimate target.
So, from that penalty, Leeds on the attack. The short pass from Singleton, Cuthberts couldn't take it. And grimace on the face of Adam Cuthbertson.
You know, you can't be critical of the fact though that the forwards are trying to pass to one another. It will lead to tries this season. That pass is just behind the point in which Cuthbertson ideally wanted it to be, but we've seen Cuthbertson deliver lots of great passes, and it's nice to see Singleton attempting to develop that skill. We know he can run hard and strong with the ball, and a nice soft pass to a big man running closer to a hole will be an added skill that he can bring to the Leeds outfit.
The Leeds Rhinos band especially raucous tonight. I think possibly because the South Stand isn't as packed as normal, so it's echoing round a little bit.
Well, John Sharp, the Featherstone Rovers coach, made the point during the week in his interviews that this was a game his players were very excited about. It's on Sky Sports. They're playing at one of the most hallowed grounds in English Rugby League, and they're playing against one of the great sides in Super League. So this is an occasion all his players would have been happy about coming to play in, and he would be delighted to be coaching once more here at Headingley.
Well, 22-0, still waiting for the first points of this second half. Featherstone managing to keep the Rhinos out. Darryl Griffin, get off me, he says to Stevie Ward, but Ward will have none of it. Aston. Here is Hardcastle now. Mariano was making a run on his shoulder, but Leeds stopped him getting the pass away. Knowles puts the kick in. That's a better one and finds a touch.
Well, they've stretched the Leeds defenders in that set. Got to the other side of the field, and Tom Briscoe thinks it went straight out on the full, but the touch judge says no, it's landed just inside. If the ball touches the white line, that's classed as the ball out, and the possession will go back to the point from which it was kicked. Just about a point of the ball touches on in the field of play, and get a chance to calm down, set the defence, and see what they can throw at the Rhinos.
Very skillful player, Michael Knowles, with Featherstone after 5 seasons at Sheffield. And there's the kick.
Judged that perfectly.
Wait, head in, ball in.
So Leeds will start this set of 6 from deep inside their own territory. Briscoe tackled. Leeds with a massive game next Friday. Griffin is all over Handley. Leeds against Castleford. There you go. Next Friday, 7:30, Sky Sports 3 for that. Leeds against the leaders, the Castleford Tigers. The Tigers have got a big game in the Cup this weekend, of course. Widnes against Leeds, the Thursday night game on Sky Sports 3 7 o'clock for that. That's back to the Betfred Super League for those 2 games. Brett Ferris has lost that ball, and there was a hand in there from Keele Carlisle.
This is one of the challenges that the game faces currently, isn't it? Whether the ball had been lost or stolen. I mean, it bounces back and forth here before Brett Ferris picks it up again. The referee says no, it's a steal. They're the tackle around the ball because we know how dangerous Brett Ferris is at offloading it in the tackle.
You're
the defender's allowed to tackle around that area.
Yeah.
The ball comes free. It's a tough call for the ref to guess which way it goes, and it's gone in favour of Leeds.
And it's gone in favour of Ablett. And Carl Ablett marks this landmark game with the first try of the second half of the Leeds Rhinos on his 300th career appearance. Ablett gets the try that maybe will see off this defiant Featherstone Rovers side. Long way to go in this game. His first Challenge Cup try of this campaign. And Leeds extend their advantage.
Well, we've seen a number of penalties now go in favour of the Rhinos in this second half. And this one they've made to take full advantage. They're playing against 12 men, of course. There's already a Featherstone Rover inside the sin bin. And they've kept the ball alive. Forwards, passed into forwards. Eventually it hands into the lines of Ablett, and he makes sure from that distance an unchallenged run through to the line. Stevie Ward draws in the defenders, finds Cuthbertson, he does the same, onto Maguire, and Ablett, as he does throughout his career, hits the hole and takes 4 more points onto the scoreboard just to take any pressure or anxiety off his home supporters, having had a 10-minute period without a try in the second half.
Twice a Wembley Cup winner with Leeds, as you can see, winning against Castleford and Hull Kingston Rovers from 5 attempts, hoping for a 6th attempt. Sutcliffe looking for another success with his goal kicking. He's on target, and Leeds now maybe looking to stretch away in this cup quarter-final.
And no surprise when you stretch a defence as the Leeds Rhinos team, Adam Cuthbertson plays a large part in it, skipping out to his right, and with a right arm offload finds Maguire. I'll tell you, whatever Leeds Rhinos have paid Carl Ablett in wages over the time he's been at this club, it was money well spent.
So Featherstone Rovers have to rebuild. Their next concern after this will be a return to action in the Kingston Press Championship, where they're involved in that battle for a top 4 place, currently 4th in the championship table at the moment. Halifax in 5th, can't be written off yet, and Featherstone's hope is that they'll have a good tilt in the middle 8s in the qualifiers.
I don't think the scoreboard indicates just how competitive for large parts of this game they've been here now, but we're looking against a team who are highly determined to win the cup for the 3rd time in 4 years. Okay, everyone remembers what a terrible season they had last year, but for the 2 previous years before that, they were cup final winners, and they look determined to get back and do it all over again.
Here is Ryan Hall now. Leeds in the middle of the field, about 40 metres out. Here's Cuthbertson now, on to Maguire, Ablett. The ball comes out wide to Briscoe. Briscoe does well to kick in field, and Sutcliffe knocks the ball down. Great work from Tom Briscoe, and no hesitation about awarding that try from the referee. And Sutcliffe following up a perfect little kick from Tom Briscoe, so used to scoring them, creating them on that occasion.
Well, this is a habit they're developing this season, scoring back-to-back tries. They did it against Wakefield on 2 occasions, and they score a try and make sure they get over the line again quickly after it. It's a wonderful kick, an intelligent onside chase by the fullback, who waits patiently, knowing that there's a potential for the ball to be put to the boot, and he just waits for the ball to bounce up in the in-goal area. The referee right alongside him.
Have a look, Phil, just checking the onside, offside, and you say Ash Hanley has done well. Yeah, well positioned and patient to not get in front of Tom Briscoe. Smart kick by Briscoe.
So Sutcliffe with the try, which he will now try and convert. has had a pretty successful season as far as the goal kicking goes in Super League. 43 goals to his name in the Super League competition.
But only at 70% success, Bill, and that's something that I'm sure in the second half of the season he wants and needs to improve.
Sutcliffe is on target with that one by the look of things. Yes, he is. And Leeds rattling up the points now. Sutcliffe's try, Sutcliffe's conversion, 34-0.
More space means more opportunity for Leeds to demonstrate the skills they've got, be it through hands or through the feet.
See where it's going to become difficult for Featherstone now. John Sharp, I'm sure, before this game has told his side to try and slow Leeds Rhinos down with running the ball, take their triceps, make it messy at the ruck. But that'll lead the referee to give a penalty in favour of the Leeds Rhinos if you get that wrong. And as this game speeds up, or certainly Featherstone feel that the game is sped up, you might see Chris Kendall put the whistle in the mouth a few more times and march Leeds Rhinos down the field.
Ooh. Richard Moore went for a big hit then on Briscoe. Briscoe managed to avoid that. Leeds ramping it up a little bit now, and Featherstone Rovers just struggling to keep him at bay. Here is Hall now, and Hall, a brute of a winger, gets the pass away to Hanley, and Hanley will run in for another Leeds Rhinos try. Second of the game, and Leeds rattling up the points. And again, Featherstone Rovers not able to live with the pace that came their way then.
But it just appears as there's more and more space now for the Leeds side. They've shifted it wide. Steve Ward looked dangerous as he turns the ball back inside. And an unusual appearance here today. Ryan Hall running as a centre, but showing that he isn't just a powerful player who stands out wide. He's one who's got vision, skill, and some real rugby ability here. Just change direction, keep free from the defenders, and then flick that ball there to Ash Handley, who races away from any of the Featherstone cover. His fit is fresh, and he's determined tonight to impress the Leeds coach. He wants to be in this Leeds Rhinos outfit as many times as possible between now and what they hope is a cup final and grand final double. Good speed, good finish, and what a great evening he's had in the first hour of play.
3 tries in a 6-minute burst for the Leeds Rhinos. And Sutcliffe, 83% success rate in this particular game anyway. Thumbs that one high into that stand behind the posts. 40-0 the scoreline.
This is all now, I suppose, about the confidence that Leeds can develop from this. The interplay, Joe Moon looking more like a team player rather than just an individual standoff who runs the ball and does his best. He's offering chances and opportunities for the players around him, both inside and out. And at times, sometimes it doesn't just involve the simple pass, giving it early, which is what Joel Moon did there to launch that play on the left-hand flank.
Featherstone Rovers paying the price for James Lockwood's sin binning, and Leeds have certainly made them pay.
Well, they thought there was a penalty there, didn't they, on Jack Walker, the fullback. A high tackle, he's entered on the field, come on with a head guard and nearly lost the head.
Michael Knowles in with the tackle. Knowles wants of Gateshead. Gateshead a stop on the route of Jeff Stelling's march from Exeter to St James's Park. Tenuous link, I know, but congratulations to our Sky Sports colleague Jeff Stelling, who reached St James's Park today after 16 marathons. A marathon a day on foot.
And a big contribution on one of those legs from Kevin Sinfield, Leeds Rhinos legend, and always very giving of his time. And no doubt his contributions has raised the profile of that marvellous cause.
So Jeff will be getting a well-earned rest after this, and Leeds will have the weekend to rest up after securing their place in the semi-finals of the Challenge Cup. Rest up and prepare for that big game next Friday against the Kosovo Tigers. Featherstone Rovers don't have much rest. They've got to play Swinton on Wednesday night in the Championship.
And then a massive game on the weekend against London. That's the big one.
At Ealing.
We got a word with John Sharp on pitch side before the game. Yeah, he acknowledged the busy schedule, Bill, but he said his side are not far off securing top 4. But the next 2 matches will be huge in determining whether or not they can do that sooner rather than later.
Well, he'll be hoping that, ironically, Leeds can help him out next Wednesday. They're not doing much to help him tonight, but the dual reg arrangement might just get him out of a bit of a hole come Wednesday night in the game against Swinton. Knowles hoists the kick, and it's not one of his best. Knocked on by Davis and/or Lockwood.
He seems to have done more kicking Michael Knowles tonight than he probably anticipated when he arrived at Headingley. None of them have really been that successful, and neither is that one. The turnover of possession, more or less, where the last play the ball took place from a Featherstone perspective. It's unsurprising they've had a tough and demanding 20-minute period here, where it just seems to get faster and faster as the white shirts flood forward.
Leeds tough to beat on their own patch. Only Huddersfield have won here in League and Cup football this season. Otherwise, 9 of 10 home matches won. Here is Briscoe. Briscoe darting in field, skipping away from the Featherstone defenders until he's brought down. Cuthbertson now. Oh, lovely hands. Ferris onwards, and in goes Ward for his second. Oh, just brought down. Good defence from Hardman and Lockwood. Wonderful handling. Singleton! Another try for Leeds. Brad Singleton adds his name to the score sheet. And again, Leeds really throwing the ball around, gets his first of the campaign. Does the former Barrow Island player Brad Singleton.
Well, the build-up play is sensational to get them into that position, and now the throwing positions aren't it? Just here, the knock-on from Featherstone. It was a misdirected kick, rather aimless, and from that, it's the quickest runaround I've ever seen. I don't know whether Ferris caught or just tapped it back basketball style, almost like a volleyball player, I should say, to his teammates. Came back to them, and then Adam Cuthbertson throws it wide, not wide to West, but wide to Brad Singleton. Bouncing up favourably for him, and he's walked there almost on between the posts. What a period of play here. This Leeds are on fire at the moment. They are sensational. They're supporting possession. They're doing everything they can to rack up the points.
Good cameo as well from Joel Moon. I'm sure this will be tapped over without any problem, but Sutcliffe, we might see what Joel Moon does by not grabbing for the ball, not trying to get Cuthbertson's pass.
Fourth try of the second half, another Sutcliffe conversion, and 46-0, the Rhinos lead.
Cuthbertson goes into dummy half, and Joel Moon, who has a target on him, he pulls out. Richard Moore has eyes only for Joel Moon. He pulls out of trying to go for that ball. It bounces and into the arms of Brad Singleton. Moon doing plenty, even when he's not touching the ball.
Brad Singleton, the latest try scorer. He was a try scorer in the Leeds Rhinos win at Wembley in 2015 when they beat Holkingston Rovers convincingly. And he's among the scorers tonight in what is turning into another emphatic Challenge Cup victory for this Leeds Rhinos side. Okay, they have yet to face Super League opponents in this cup run.
Well, we know from their third place standing in the league right now that they're capable of beating most any of the teams that they come up against. It may be a remarkable turnaround, Bill. Treble winners in 2015, an absolutely shocking 2016, and now, as we're deep into the season in 2017, they're well placed to win all 3 trophies again. Whether or not they can do that remains to be seen, but it will cap an unbelievable turnaround if they were to get even one of the 3 trophies available.
It's the 5th tackle, and it's with Moon. Moon hoists the ball right towards those posts, and Hardman claims it, and then is bundled over his own try line. by Parcell and Hall.
Well, that element of the play has been brilliant. And the number of kicks that have come down just short of the try line. And then they've added to that by the chase. Is he onside, Parcell? They're not even checking that at this point. Hardman takes the ball in play, but he's pushed back by Parcell. And Ryan Hall back in goal. You see James Lockwood back on the field. Interestingly, the first tackle he made when he came back on from the sin bin was very similar to the one that he went off with. But nobody complained and he stayed on the field.
Goal line dropouts. And Leeds really looking as though they could rack up a few more points in what's left of this game. Huddersfield 18, St Helens 16, the latest score in that Super League game. Parcell there. We talk about Parcell as being the signing of the season, overseas signing of the season. What about Jake Mamo at Huddersfield? What an impact the former Newcastle Knights fullback has had.
He hasn't got on the score sheet tonight, Bill. Still some time left for them, though. I'll tell you this, man, Joel Moon.
Singleton has got on the score sheet again. And it's a double for the young Rhinos prop. Brad Singleton. Yes, says the South Stand. We're into the semi-finals. Back-to-back tries for their Cumbrian prop forward, Brad Singleton.
Comes from Joel Moon, subtle pass. The origins of all of this is Moon's kick. Featherstone at the back. Out through Harman, but Leeds brilliantly trap him in goal. And then Moon jumps out, attracts defenders, just offloads it gently to the onrushing, rampaging Brad Singleton. Never going to be stopped. And he's got himself his second. A brace for Brad.
What about the influence of Joel Moon? What a versatile player he is. Playing in the halves. Used to seeing him in the centres.
As an Australian schoolboy, one of the more coveted players in Australia as a half. Wayne Bennett and Craig Bellamy both going head-to-head to get his services. We'll see this tapped over, but ultimately Wayne Bennett and Brisbane won out. Joel Moon went up there to play in the halves. Found himself as a centre late in his career, but this move, Bill, has been tremendous for him and Brian McDermott.
As they're in that position, as they're delivering the pass. You're right, Leeds have used 4 different combinations as halfbacks. Sutcliffe and Burrow, Maguire and Burrow, Maguire and Sutcliffe. But the one they've used now for the 14th time this season is Moon and Maguire. And I think Joel Maguire's improvement as a team player, we know how good he is as an individual. I think his touches and his contributions tonight have been sensational over there, and clearly show a marked improvement as he's learning again, because it's a period of time since he played in that position and helped the players around him again, delivering the nice soft passes, inviting people to roll on.
Defiance from Featherstone, and Brett Ferris is bundled towards the sidelines. Oh, and Walker has got a bad bang on the shoulder by the look of things there. He was in pain for a moment, the 17-year-old fullback, but he's back on his feet. Ferris upended.
It's a good tackle by Corey Aston. A man far bigger than him. He's been brave tonight in defence, Aston. Big people have run at him. They've tried to run over him, run through him. He stood up to that challenge, and see an injury here now to young Jack Walker. Let's hope he's okay.
Featherstone Rovers get head and feet at the scrum. Walker is back up. Just flexing his shoulder a little bit. Meanwhile, that most recent conversion from Liam Sutcliffe took his points haul in the game so far to 20. And he's not finished yet. Touch judge, meanwhile, on.
Cooper has come in late with his forearm in his back. Luke Cooper. Yeah, okay.
And I think Featherstone Rovers are going to find that things are turned around.
Ian.
Well, it's a late challenge by Luke Cooper according to the officials. They might just look at this. We'll play on. This one injures Luke, Jack Walker, perhaps. Must be something. Look at how he damaged the shoulder. No, he's penalised him in a late challenge with the elbow from Luke Cooper. To young Jack Walker after he's passed the ball.
That's the call.
Shake of the head from Luke Cooper.
Must be shaking at his own actions because it's an absolute penalty. Well picked up by the touch judge. Well actioned by the referee, but
it's an embarrassing penalty onto a young 17-year-old player when the score's 52-0.
I agree.
Embarrassing.
Seasoned touch judge Tony Martin
Get a chance now.
in there.
Mitch Garbutt sitting in the middle. Anthony Mullally. They're the guys you want to be lining up then. Not picking on Jack Walker.
Mitch Garbutt. Matt Parcell. I wonder if Parcell will have a word with his colleague and just ask him to be a bit more careful next time when he's swinging his fists around. Because Parcell's got the scar to show for it. Leeds fluent once again. Oh, lovely hands from Watkins, finds Briscoe. Briscoe bounces off the tacklers, flings the ball infield. It's gone forwards. And Missy Talapapa from Hardman's flick picks the ball up, and Featherstone will counter with Corey Aston, and Ferris gets a hold of him.
Well, the supporters here tonight have certainly seen some ball movement. We've had lots of tries, but it's gone from one end of the field to the other at times, one side of the field to the other. Featherstone and the fans will certainly be proud of their efforts if at times, sometimes their actions haven't fitted up to it. Knock on here. Pass there now, a tired one I think from Briggs to Michael Knowles.
We've also seen a bit from Corey Aston as well, Phil. Featherstone breaking out. This is the error. Knock on, lead scrum. But Featherstone breaking out earlier showed a bit of threat, a bit of challenge. This is Watkins to Briscoe. He's flung it forward. Free play. Missy Talapapa finally Aston, who puts on the afterburners, and Brett Ferris drags them to the ground at the end. But there'll be a performance by Aston that will, I suppose, enlighten Brian McDermott as to the future of that young man at the club. They do have high hopes for him. He's did a great season of learning at Featherstone. Has acquitted himself well, Bill. Yeah,
22 years of age, Corey Aston. Great pedigree, of course. As it stands, Leeds in their Challenge Cup run this season have scored 188 points so far in disposing of Barrow, Doncaster and now Featherstone Rovers. 10 minutes to go. Here's Garbutt now. Moon. Ferris looking to offload that ball, keeps a hold of it in the end. Frankie Mariano with the tackle. Here's Singleton. Could he be on for a second half hat-trick? Ablett. Here's Jack Walker. Walker back in one piece after taking that bang. Sutcliffe hoists a delicate kick. Oh, lovely catch and knocked down by Ryan Hall. Sutcliffe's kick, the athleticism from Ryan Hall, approaching 300 career tries. That one takes him a step closer to that landmark. His second in this Challenge Cup campaign.
If you've watched all of Leeds' tries this year, you'll see this becomes a familiar pattern. They're getting very good at kicking, dropping the ball halfway between the posts and the corner flag, and having players with the skills to sprint, leap and catch the ball higher than anybody else on the field. It's a brilliant tag. They've done it successfully on numerous occasions. It's Sutcliffe who makes the kick, Hawley makes the catch, and it's another 6 points here. It's been a brilliant performance, and the most impressive aspect, in my opinion, Brian, is the fact that Leeds, even with a healthy scoreline, have been able to play at the same intensity, the same concentration. There hasn't appeared a drop-off at any point in this match.
Absolutely right, they've been relentless. Good point you make about the kick, always trying to drop it on a half-back. Usually a smaller man defending there, Ryan Hall able to get on top of an area that Corey Aston would be defending.
Sutcliffe, just the one miss with his goal kicking tonight. Another 2 points for him, 22 in the game, 58 for Brian McDermott's Leeds Rhinos.
And I believe Ryan Hall now 3 off the magic 300 mark in career tries. reaching above any Featherstone defenders around him. Just 3 more tries, a remarkable figure to hit 300 in your career.
Lance Todd winner in the 2014 Challenge Cup final victory against the Castleford Tigers, Ryan Hall. And Leeds, well, they'll know that there'll be sterner challenges to come in this cup campaign. Sterner challenges to come in Super League. Winners against Lee Thursday night, 7 o'clock, Sky Sports 3. And then Leeds Rhinos against the Castleford Tigers. What a game that promises to be. Castleford embarrassing Leeds back at the start of March. And as a result of that, it's incredible to think now there was talk of a crisis at Leeds and the coach being under pressure. Look where they are now.
Yeah, you're left eating your words now, Bill, aren't you?
Oh! Outrageous.
It is.
Luke Cooper is the player down.
Well, as he ran onto Brad Singleton's elbow or hand at some point, he's twisted his head back badly. Heavy collision. The referee said immediately, let's leave him to the medics. It's on the side of the face.
There is a question over the leniency granted to the ball carrier at times. Shoulder charge has been banned with the game, but if you have the ball under your arm, you can charge a shoulder into the opposition defender. Brad Singleton's left arm is the one that will be the one they'll scrutinise.
Yeah.
Find out if that contact was legitimate. Whether or not he had a bumper bar up to just fend off any player or to protect himself, whether he moved towards the defender in an inappropriate and illegal manner. That's I'm sure something, Phil, that will be scrutinised.
Well, he'll be a little bit nervous because he's already suffered a long period of suspension
6
so far this
out.
season. Earlier in the year for a late challenge on Greg Bird. It's a different incident. It was one when he didn't have possession, wasn't it? On that occasion, he was a defender rather than an attacker. His coach looks on here anxiously. We just hope that Luke Cooper's okay. His neck seems fine. The doctor's checking. These are good signs initially.
Manages to disagree with the doctor by the look of things. And don't embarrass me by holding my hand. But he's going to have to leave the field. Now then, Brad Singleton's been called across by
There's some contact with the head.
Kendall.
It's a penalty. Okay? It's a penalty to Featherstone.
And the penalty is awarded against Leeds. So the officials saw something in that. So Luke Cooper off the field. And probably unlikely to return. So can Featherstone at least get their names on the score sheet and avoid a nilling here? They've got the penalty, they've pushed it upfield. 24-16 now, the Giants lead against St Helens. Great contest at the John Smiths. Huddersfield in really good form at the moment. And making life uncomfortable for Warrington and Catalan as far as claiming a top 8 place. Frankie Mariano trying to find a way forward, but Leeds defenders are there. They haven't had to do that much work on their own line. Now they are having to work. Aston onto Hardman. Hardman stumbles. Hall gets a hold of him. 3 in for the tackle there for Leeds. Wildy, Aston. Brad Tagg ducks under the challenge from Mullally. Plays the ball. Wildy again. Little kick from Davis. Oh, it's a bit of a tangle. And I think Leeds are offside there.
Well, they're going to get another opportunity. The supporters at that end are going to get excited here at the chance of scoring. They've waited for a long time here now. Few opportunities to attack. They've had a level possession. Ryan Hall's in an offside position. He's gone forward to him. They tap the ball here now, and they're desperate to get over the line.
Spectacular dive from Jack Walker.
Move back to there. Hold.
So Featherstone with 5 minutes remaining. Great opportunity for them. And it's Hardcastle, I think, who's got that ball down. Josh Hardcastle, has he grounded the ball and given those Featherstone fans something to celebrate? Referee reckons there's a try there, but he wants video ref Ben Thaler to confirm his view that Josh Hardcastle has got a try for Featherstone Rovers.
Well, Hall and Parcell are trying their best, but that to me is a try, and it was to that young group of boys from the Normanton Knights. You might have just seen them at that end of the ground, jumping up in joy. It's a try, Brian.
Phil, he's dropped it.
And he's what do we say? He's regained possession simultaneously that it hits the ground.
Phil, I'd like to see them go where...
You'll never be able to travel to Featherstone again, Brian,
Okay,
if you disallow this.
I'll go with you. Stranger things have happened, but... He's dropped the ball.
Ben Thaler having another look. He's got that down. He's got that ball down. Not a problem.
He's dropped the ball, right?
He's got that ball down. Ben Thaler makes
No try.
He's disallowed the try. The Featherstone fans furious at that far end of the field.
It will be when they look back at that try in the first half for Leeds, will it?
Well, that's a tough call.
No, it's not
for
tough.
Featherstone
It's not
Rovers.
tough. They've had tough calls earlier in this game. There's a couple of video referees' decisions that didn't go their way. A couple of calls didn't go their way. That's the correct call.
Featherstone Rovers denied that. And then Garbutt, big brute of a forward to stop. Featherstone just managed to do that. 24-16, big win for Huddersfield.
Massive, Bill, that is massive. What pressure that will put on Catalan Dragons and the Warrington Wolves, who are in action tomorrow against Wigan in the third of the Challenge Cup quarterfinals.
Knock on.
Ablett has lost that ball, a bit of fatigue as he got up to play it. And then a little bit of, as we're seeing this, there's something happening off the ball. I think Walton and Tom Briscoe involved, but that quickly calms down.
Calm down, please. Springs here.
Coming up to 3 minutes to go then, here at Headingley Carnegie. Leeds on course for another big win.
Pass the line, Tom.
And
Back.
they've done it with a blistering
Come on, let's
second
go
half
now.
performance
Out.
that's taken the game away from a gutsy Featherstone Rovers side who just haven't been able to live with the pace of this Leeds side in the second half.
Offside.
I mean, they'd love to go into the semi-finals, Bill, but you'd say their ambitions is top four into the Super 8 qualifiers. And this match against the Leeds Rhinos will give them preparation for that as well. They'll know what they're up against.
Back. Okay, let's go, guys.
If they do make the Super 8 qualifiers, they'll face the bottom four in Super League. They won't face sides as good as the Leeds Rhinos, so they'll take hope out of that.
Hold.
Well, Featherstone denied a few moments ago. Can they find a way through the Leeds defence? Aston puts the kick in, not one of the best, and Handley is able to retrieve it.
Well, we see that play from a lot of sides now, don't they? As the defence rushes forward from the try line, the kick goes behind them, but it's gone directly to the winger. I'm not sure any of the Featherstone Rovers were ready for it. It's been a tough evening here now. Featherstone, they've put a tremendous effort into this.
And as Brian has mentioned, they've got to regroup. They've got to play Swinton on Wednesday night, and then they've got to travel to play London Broncos at Ealing Trailfinders next weekend in a massive top four game from the Kingston Press Championship. And London in pretty awesome form at the moment. Here's Matt Parcell, plays the ball. Joel Moon hoists the kick. Hardman comes for it, and Hardman claims it.
That draw a couple of weeks ago with Hull Kingston Rovers, Bill, that 20-all draw between Featherstone and Tim Sheen's side, that'll give John Sharp all the confidence he needs to go down to London
42-16 though when they met at Blackpool in favour of London.
Granted, you draw with the team at the top of the table, you're not doing too many things wrong.
Featherstone get the penalty. Ablett interfering there as Jason Walton tried to get to his feet to play the ball. But Leeds, it's hard to know the strength of their cup campaign.
Now, guys, come on.
They've yet to face Super League opposition in the cup. But the Featherstone Rovers fans defiantly saluting their side.
Well, they might not have won, but they've certainly had a great night. I think that's probably hardened by the fact that they know the team have tried their best. They've made mistakes, but they've given everything. Briggs now takes on the defence. And in many ways, they could turn this into a positive. They played against a team at the top of their form.
Yeah. Leeds imperious at the moment. Wildy with the run, and now with Briggs. The pass reaches Keele. Carlisle to Davis. Davis, Hardcastle, is trying to skip in field. Davis once more, booms the pass over the top. Grab tag. Good defensive work. Wildy is brought down. They haven't finished yet. Lockwood, ball over the top for Hardman. Oh, he's trying to stretch out, he can't get there. Great work from Walker.
Well, I'll tell you all you need to know about the Leeds Rhinos, Bill, and their attitude in defence.
Hint of a forward pass there, but look at his work. And Jack Walker, the 17-year-old, epitomising the Leeds effort here tonight. Matt Parcell in there as well. And Featherstone frustrated, unable to break the Leeds line. And Leeds triumph. They're through to the semi-finals once again. 58-0 victors. A dominant second-half performance. 6 tries Leeds have run in, all of them goaled by Liam Sutcliffe. 10 tries in all in this game. It has been an emphatic Leeds Rhinos victory. And Featherstone